G'day viewers and welcome to Totally Fucked Up Friday the 13th, a Law and Order edition. Yes, I'm going to bring you some fucked up stories about crime and punishment from all around the world. Actually, no, they're all from America. It seems to be a concentration of totally fucked up stories about the law in America. And why not? America seems to have this rather unique relationship with ideas of law and personal freedom and your rights. Ha! Lol. Yes. For anyone who doesn't actually know, you essentially, and this probably counts for anywhere in the world, the rights you have are the rights that the people in power choose at any given moment to give you. It doesn't matter what's written in your constitution or law books, situation dictates what those in power let you have in the way of rights. For example, consider the California man who runs a site he calls Cop Watch because he likes to expose what he sees as excesses of police brutality. Now, a lot of these sites that talk about police brutality and abuses of state power have a tendency to hyperbole. Sometimes they simply outright lie and misrepresent stories, and they go a bit crazy. But the weight of evidence in this is a little bit dodgy. Our man was at a New Year's Eve party and he saw a rather loud altercation that the cops were involved in, and he whips out his trusty video camera, because that's what he does. And a cop rounds on him and says, "Put the camera down." And the guy says, "Actually, I know my rights. You can't make me put the camera down. I'm not breaking the law." "Ho, ho, ho," says Mr. Policeman, and hurls our man to the ground, handcuffs him, drags him off to jail. Now, the police apparently repeatedly tried to deny this guy a bond and just keep him in jail for the sole crime of pissing off a cop. But after a lot of pressure, he was let out after 7 days in jail. Call me crazy, that seems excessive. 7 days locked up in jail for the crime of pissing off a cop. And look, what is for me is the kicker that really just makes it look like, no, I actually tend to think there's a bit of overstepping the mark here, is the guy's camera disappeared. The camera that videotaped everything that happened, that would have given a more objective record of what actually took place, nah, it's gone. And I love the article that coyly words, look, in the best case, that's a really serious fuck up by cops who lost a vital bit of evidence. In the worst case, well, surely you don't need spoon feeding on what the worst case is. Honestly, this is why I never mouth off to cops. People think, "Oh, you're shouty. You'd be good in a bad situation." No. If a cop tells me to do something, I do it. I'm a pussy. I freely admit it. Because really, a savage beating and several weeks in jail, not my idea of a fun time. To me, that's totally fucked up. Now, this one isn't a story of rights or lack thereof. It's just some fucked up people. Hey, I haven't done a story about crazy shit in Florida for, at least a week or two. Here's a good one where a woman was upset at some men in a bar who were, in her mind, throwing gang signs at her. Turns out they were deaf and they were signing to one another. Now, first up, being loud and obnoxious to some deaf guys because you don't understand the concept of sign language, well, that just marks you as an ignorant fucking moron. That wasn't enough for her. Now, you may be thinking, oh, then maybe she went and glassed them. Did she attack them? Did she do something there? No, she did not do anything in the heat of the moment. This 45-year-old woman left the scene, brought back a couple of young guys, one 18 and one under 18, one of whom then proceeded to start with the stabby stab action. What sort of fucked unit leaves a scene upset solely because of the hand signals someone's making? I don't even care if they were actually making fucking gang signs, but to leave, recruit a couple of young guys, bring them back, so bring your knife, boys, there's stabbing to be done. Sure thing. Were they threatening you? I don't know. I have no idea what they were doing, therefore it's bad. Start stabbing! Florida, you have some fucked up shit happening. And now, in a case of worst fucking idea ever, a blogger for the Houston Press, decided to run a story which he called The 10 Hottest Female Sex Offenders in Texas. No! Just no! No! Okay? You don't do that! Even when you try to justify it by going, I was challenging stereotypes. Not all sex offenders are creepy stereotype pedophiles. Not all bloggers are brain-dead, fucktard losers doing the worst, most despicable sort of link baiting to get attention. But you are, you fucking idiot! Are you gonna follow this up with the 10 hunkiest rapists? Ooh, girls, are you really saying no to him? Jesus Christ, I've heard of bad ideas, but that is a totally fucked up idea. And now in a story that could be subtitled, Stop Picking on Stephen Conroy. He's not the worst person on the internet, he was just ahead of his time. The US has been trying to introduce laws to restrict activity on the internet that make Australia's Stephen Conroy look like a Boy Scout. And each time one of these gets knocked down, it comes back even worse. And currently there's a bill being proposed with the laughably humorous acronym of Protect IP, intellectual property, because obviously everyone wants protection. If you don't want to protect IP, you must want to destroy it. You must be bad. Now, this latest thing of the government just letting entertainment companies write law for them has awesome provisions about what third parties have to do to block websites that just get declared infringing. Not convicted in court, but no, an accusation made. There have been websites already taken down for this, but they want to go further. They want to stop the linking of overseas sites. Yes, they are going to force sites like Google to delete links to sites that they declare against the law. Isn't that fun, kids? Wasn't your rights and internet fun while it lasted? And other people don't get smoked. This shit's still going to happen in Australia as well. Similar laws proposed in New Zealand. Oh, and just check out, the European Union thinks they can put a firewall around the EU and control all information on the internet as well. This shit just does not go away. And finally, a heartwarming and frankly humorous story about the FBI and their concern for the little guy. Now, ever since it was revealed that the Bush administration was conducting widespread warrantless wiretaps on American citizens, the ACLU has been lodging Freedom of Information requests to try and find out more of what's happening. And in typical government fashion, just after the illegal activity of the Bush administration was revealed, Congress introduced a law known as FISA that basically legalized all the illegal activity that was happening. See, it's not a crime if after the fact we pass a law saying we're allowed to do warrantless wiretaps on our own citizens. And this has just been expanded by the Obama administration. The ACLU hasn't stopped trying to find out more, and every now and then the government releases some documents to them justifying their positions, and in an absolute irony-free display, usually about half of these documents are redacted, i.e. blacked out, so you can't read their justification because their justification is secret. Look, seriously, does the FBI understand irony at all? Or do they really, really understand it? And this is some elaborate postmodern prank. But in amongst all the texter blacking out the documents, the ACLU found a surprisingly honest passage from the FBI, and I wrote it down so I wouldn't get it wrong. But the passage includes the sentence where the FBI is saying why they can't reveal which phone companies, which ISPs and which technology companies are helping them spy on Americans. Specifically, these businesses would be substantially harmed if their customers knew that they were furnishing information to the FBI. You see, if you knew what companies were fucking you over and selling you out to the FBI, you might not want to deal with those companies. And that would be bad, okay? You exercising your right to not be anally fist-fucked by the FBI, that's bad. You don't need the information required to know which companies are selling you out, okay? That is what passes for justification. You shouldn't know who's fucking with you, or you might try to stop them fucking with you. Okay, the camera's still rolling. I should stop that.
The fresher the meat, the sweeter the treat.
Yes. Right.
Gross.
And back to the concept of... I was going to say rape, and I didn't mean rape, I meant rights. Okay, try that again. And back to the concept of rights, or lack thereof. The United States keeps trying to introduce incredibly restrictive rules on the internet in the name of copyright protection, or sometimes anti-terrorism, but basically blah 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 blah. And back to the topic of rights, or lack thereof. And America... Now back to the topic of rights, or rather lack thereof. And this week on Who's Fucking Up the Internet Most, and Stop Picking on Stephen... Oh, fucking cunting ballsuck.
It's cold. Your
It
mouth's
is,
not
yeah.
ready to... Your mouth's not happy.
That's it.
It's cold. That's why.
And now in a story that could be... The consonants are not my friend.
No,
Right.
they're from New Zealand. Choice,
Yeah.
bro.
Bastards.